What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another transfer video now. Arsenal look like they're going to have to sell some players. It's a clearance sale, you know, buy one, get one free. You buy a Socrates, you get a Kolasinac for free. Everything must go. I think that these players not being sold are seriously holding up Arsenal's transfer business. Now, I've made a little list here of players that I think we need to sell this summer, the sort of fees we can potentially get for them. So the first one is Socrates. They're talking about him going to Napoli or Roma. I'd be looking to get about £5 million for him. I don't think you can get more than that. He's way past his best. He's on £80,000 a week. That's somebody we've got to be getting rid of. Kolasinac is being linked with Schalke. It looks like this could be a loan move because of his £120,000 a week wage. I don't think you'll get a club that will pay a considerable transfer fee for him. It may just be a case of loaning him out and getting the wages off the bill. Again, another player that I don't think is good enough. Also, after this, let me know in the comments which players you would sell and how much you would want for them. Rob Holding and Callum Chambers are both being linked with moves to Leeds United. Believed to be around £15 million each. Which one would you sell out of those two? Chambers, obviously Chambers has a little bit more versatility. He can play right back, centre back or defensive midfield. He was Fulham's player of the season in that CDM role not too long ago. Rob Holding, who is quite highly rated by a lot of Arsenal fans as well, but of course suffered that ACL injury. Didn't look great when he came back, although he did have a few games where he looked half decent. Which one would you sell out of the two? I'm not a big fan of either one of them, to be honest. I think Chambers is a solid player. I don't really think his potential is that big. I think Holding possibly has had a better time of it at Arsenal. I would probably sell Chambers out of the two. Matteo Guendouzi now. I know Arsenal were looking for about 30 to 35 million for him. The interest seems very limited. He was being linked with the likes of Barcelona. They were talking about swapping him for Barcelona to try and give us Philippe Coutinho. PSG were being linked. We offered him to Lyon for Hossein Aouar. It seems as if Villarreal are the only team who've really, declared their interest. Unai Emery likes Guendouzi, but again, this looks very difficult to get done. Could we end up in a situation where Guendouzi's still at Arsenal next season? Which I think could be quite detrimental. But let's see, this one again could be a loan. We're really struggling to get rid of players here. Lucas Torreira being linked with numerous clubs in Italy. The latest one is Fiorentina. Now apparently Fiorentina are willing to pay a transfer fee for him, but it could be reduced somewhere around 20 to 25 million. I get the impression that Torreira just wants to go back to Italy. He's constantly being linked with clubs in Italy. His agent's always talking up moves there, and I would sell him at the right price. I don't think he's the answer. I think when you're that small in the middle of the park in midfield, you've either got to be like an N'Golo Kante, where you're just phenomenal at winning the ball back. I think Torreira's okay. He's tenacious, but he's nowhere near Kante. Or you've got to be brilliant on the ball, like a Santi Cazorla was. I don't see Torreira as either one of them. If you could get 25 to 30 million, I would take it for Lucas Torreira. Emile Smith-Rowe is being linked with Fulham, potentially on loan. He had a good loan last season at Huddersfield, apparently was their best player last season. But I've got quite high hopes for him. I would potentially keep him for this season. I think for the Europa League, the League Cup games, those sorts of games, I think Smith-Rowe has got the potential to be a good player, and I'd like to see him promoted this season. The next one, Lacazette. Always causes a lot of argument and debate, this one. Being linked with Atletico Madrid, being linked with Juventus, although the Juventus interest seems to have cooled a little bit. But Atletico definitely seem interested. They want to swap, apparently, the likes of Thomas Lemar and Vitolo. I would not want them. It's got to be Thomas Partey or someone like that if they want to do business. I noticed that Celtic were eliminated from the Champions League. So will that make Odsonne Edouard interested in leaving Celtic? Personally, I would potentially let Lacazette go if you could get an Edouard, somebody like that. But I don't see Lacazette leaving, if I'm honest. I think the club will probably keep hold of him for one more year. Would you guys keep Lacazette or would you let him go? The final one, well, not the final one that definitely has a lot of interest is Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Now, he's being linked with Wolves. It's believed they offered around £17 million for Ainsley, and Arsenal have rejected that. They want at least £20 million for him. I made a video on this. For me personally, I'm not overly keen on selling him. I would have rather moved on Hector Bellerin, who for me is not the answer at right back. People have said that Ainsley doesn't want to play right back. From what I've heard, he said he was willing to play right back. He just preferred to play in the middle of the park. But Arsenal don't seem to genuinely want to play him on a consistent basis. You know, even at right back, he's not the regular. They gave a 4-year deal to Cedric Suarez, which, I don't understand. Cedric Suarez might be decent for us, but 4 years for a 28-year-old released by Southampton doesn't make sense to me. The last three, I'm going to do these three quickly. Mohamed El Neni, who we saw playing the other day in the friendly against MK Dons. He scored a great goal, by the way, but let's not get caught in no hype. El Neni has to leave Arsenal. He's not good enough. Henrik Mkhitaryan, who, believe it or not, hasn't officially left Arsenal yet. We had agreed a deal with Roma for him to go there on a free so that they could pay his wages. That deal hasn't been completed yet, so let's hope we don't get stuck with Mkhitaryan. £170,000 a week wages. And the third one, the famous Mr. Mesut Ozil. Now, to me, you've got two options. You either sell him and get him out and get that 350k a week off the wage bill ASAP, or you've got to bring him back and get him involved. I wouldn't play him every week because I think we need to play with that high press and that energy, and Ozil doesn't suit that. But certainly the games where teams are difficult to break down, I think Ozil will have to be involved because you can't have a 350k player just out of the squad every week. So Arteta's going to have to learn how to integrate him at some stage. Let me know what you guys think. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel, Curtis Shaw TV. Listen to the players that I've mentioned. Let me know which ones you would sell. How much would you want for them? And, maybe potential replacements for each player. But I think some of these players leaving the club are holding up transfer business coming in. And we know Arsenal aren't the quickest. Don't forget, keep it locked here. Subscribe to Curtis Shaw TV. Be back with lots more content throughout the week. Bless.